Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Julie.
I'm Phil, and this one goes out to all you beginner bourbon drinkers out there. A lot of you are new to the channel. Heck, we're new to the channel. We've only been live for about a month and a half now. And during our Advent calendar tournament, we heard from a lot of you that you'd love to drink along, but you don't really know where to start. So this video is going to highlight some of our favorite beginner bourbons, great flavor, low proof, easy drinking, and aren't going to hurt your pocketbook either.
Without further ado, here's our 4 bourbons that we think are great for beginners. Starting with, shouldn't be a surprise, Four Roses Yellow Label.
That's right, this is a real easy sipper. 80 proof, $24, aged 5+ years. Terrific flavor for a bourbon of that price to begin with, but also with that lower proof, it's a great entry point into bourbon. You're not going to get a ton of ethanol or uncomfortable kickback on the finish or anything like that. Just a great straight ahead whiskey with terrific true bourbon flavors. There are bona fide bourbon flavors in this bottle.
Yeah, it's the first one that I tasted where I could understand what he was talking about a little bit more. Great daily sipper. Like you said, doesn't break the bank at all. Just a really great entry point into drinking bourbon, in my opinion. And in yours.
And in mine, yeah. It's a great bourbon whether you're experienced or a novice.
And you still get a lot of those great bourbon flavors. There's a lot of vanilla, a lot of caramel, some oakiness in there. Not hot at all.
Not at all.
You're not gonna go screaming down the street or anything, but it's just really mild and delicious. Good starter.
It's a good starter. And by the way, we're drinking these neat. You don't have to. There's no rule that says that you have to drink bourbon a specific way. If you prefer to drink something cold, put an ice cube in there. Put a couple of drops of water in there. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody drinks whiskey differently. Everybody's palate is different. We think this is a great place to start, whether you put ice or water in it or not.
Up until 6 months ago, I drank everything with an ice cube.
So there you go. Bottle number 1, Four Roses Yellow Label.
Delicious.
Available everywhere too.
Next on the list is our budget buy. A ridiculous price for as delicious as I think it is. Our Old Forester 86. Little step up in proof from the Four Roses, but not much.
Old Forester, obviously we love them. If you've been following our videos at all, you know exactly how much we love Old Forester Distillery. And this 86, it's not going to blow you away with tons of flavor. It is going to be obviously a little step up from the Four Roses, that being 80 proof, this 86 proof, but you will still find nice flavor in here. There's oak in here. There's honey, there's some vanilla. It's a different series of flavors than you would find in Four Roses. It's a great entry point to the Old Forester line, and if you don't want to spend $20 or more on a bottle of whiskey, it's a real great place to start.
Yeah, and all 4 of that we're gonna talk about today, daily sipper material. I mean, there's a lot of other great ones that we're not putting in here, but for these, just low proof, easy going, knock it out of the park.
Again, we already talked about experienced drinkers, novice drinkers, drinking whatever you like. I still reach for this bottle pretty frequently. I just like the flavors of it.
I actually really enjoy this 86, just the simplicity and the deliciousness of it.
Yeah, honestly, both of the bottles on the table here, that Four Roses at 80 proof and the Old Forester at 86 proof, these 2 bottles will beat up some bottles that are 90 or even 100 proof. You don't necessarily have to reach for something higher proof to find good flavor. These 2 bottles are great examples of that.
And so our next one, which probably won't be too big of a surprise out there, is Buffalo Trace, and we actually only have the store pick available right now. And if you can get a store pick, I'm gonna say pick those up, they're delicious. But if you can't, the regular Buffalo Trace is great, 90 proof.
Yeah, 90 proof, mid-20s to low 20 range. A lot of times you can find this bottle for $23 or $24. Not available everywhere, but available most places. And they just finished an expansion, so likely this is going to be in every liquor store in America real soon. Your typical bourbon flavors of oak, caramel, a little cherry in this delicious bottle of whiskey there. And at 90 proof, a little bit of a step up without being super hot on the palate. I'm actually drinking it right now, and every time I open a bottle of Buffalo Trace, especially store picks, but every time I drink Buffalo Trace, I'm reminded of just how much I love it and why it was one of my gateways into the next level of whiskey and bourbon in general. I just love it.
Our store pick we recently picked up was only 26, right?
$26 for a single barrel.
That's why I'm saying if you can get the store pick.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one's great, but the store pick just has a little bit something extra special in there. And so for $3 extra, get it.
And there isn't an age statement on this bottle. Most bottles, we believe, are between 4 and 6 years. They may be as old as 8 years, that blending of barrels. This store pick in particular, we know is a single barrel chosen that was 8 years old. It's just delicious, this one. So I'm gonna keep bragging about how great this one is. But Buffalo Trace, our third recommendation for beginner drinkers. This one may be a step up in heat and flavor from these other two, but it's just one of our favorite bottles and one of my gateways into bourbon way back in the day.
Yep. All right, and our fourth pick, because we're diversifying across all the distilleries
Look
today.
at us go. Wow, we're really doing it.
Is Maker's 46. And we could have put in just the regular Makers, but for just a little extra cost, this comes in around $35. The flavor profiles you get out of it, it's just a stronger, more delicious overall. The caramels, the vanilla. I just think that if you're gonna go for it, check out the 46 versus the original.
Right. So one of the reasons Maker's Mark stands out is that this is a wheated bourbon. So where these others have rye in the mash bill, Maker's has wheat in the mash bill. So rye is spicier, wheat is sweeter. That results in a sweeter bourbon. And so Maker's 46, what makes that different than regular Maker's Mark is once it's aged, they pour it out of the barrel, they take 10 oak staves and throw them in the barrel, and then they dump the bourbon back in. So you get, for a couple of months, extra oaking on that bourbon. And if you like something sweeter, if you start drinking bourbon and realize you like that oak flavor, this is a great place to go. And at 94 proof, this is again a bump up in proof, but because it's wheated, because it gets that extra oak finishing, it's very smooth, very easy to drink. Maker's 46, nice oak, vanilla, caramel. We've had some bright cherry notes on this bottle. If you're looking for an entry-level bourbon that's a little higher proof, this again, one of our gateways. We love this bottle.
Yep, so here's our top 4 for beginners bourbons. And if you master these 4, sky's the limit.
You're ready for barrel proofers. The next logical step is probably bottled in bond, 100 proofers, things like that. But all 4 of these bourbons, whichever one you like or whichever one you choose to have on your shelf, you can't really go wrong.
We selected these basically because they're all under 100 proof, and they were picked mainly because of the ease of drinking. There's no sharp alcohol flavors. I mean, from the first sip, it's just kind of like keyed in. There's some really great under 100 proof bourbons and whiskeys out there. Maybe they're just not as easy drinkers as these 4.
It can be really difficult to navigate that sub 100 proof bourbon world. Hopefully what we've provided here are 4 bottles that are really easy to drink, that are deliciously flavorful.
Readily available
and won't hurt your wallet.
Hey, I think this is a pretty good list.
It's a great list. I'm really proud of us.
So I'd be interested, and he'd be interested.
I would.
But probably more so me.
I think we both would.
Would be interested to know what you guys think. If there's, something in here that we missed, let us know.
What did we leave off the list? And if you buy one of these and you are a new bourbon drinker and you really enjoy it, let us know. And if you hate it, you might want to let us know that too.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a notification when we release a new video. Check us out on Instagram at The Bourbon Van. And what else?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Perfect.
So from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers.